So today we are here with Mr. Joher Mehdi. So sir, first of all, introduce yourself, please.
I'm saying Joher Mehdi, and I instruct philosophy and critical thinking, world history, world literature, and I've been managing classes for bachelor's students for quite a long time.
Sir, there will be some question we will asking from related to public speaking. As you relate your class by public speaking. Suppose you are a public speaker, what changes you will bring to society by your public speaking skills?
I would like everyone to start reading the text, be it a comical text, but they must undertake the projects of reading. I mean, it's quite important that we should bring in a culture that promote reading. That is the one thing that I would like to add to our culture.
What do you have? What do you believe at the most common misconception about public speaking?
About public speaking, what is the most common misconception? It's very hard to pin down, but I mean, people believe that they can talk about anything. I mean, they can talk extempore about anything. That is a misconception because they should prepare themselves about the things that they are going to talk over.
What's your process of preparing a speech or a presentation?
If I have to make a speech, then I do a lot of work. I try to do justice with the topic. I try to cover the complete field of that particular topic that I'm going to be discussing. So it's important that I should, study and examine the whole field of that particular area.
So, do you have a specific method of structuring a talk or maximizing impact on the audience by speech or presentation?
Yeah, I think it should be structured. I mean, there are some methods that we should adhere to if we are talking about anything.
How important is storytelling in public speaking and how you incorporate it?
I think we are the creators who believe in storytelling. We do not want mere facts about the life. We want stories, and stories makes a lot of impact on our understanding about the things. So if you look at the myths, Asian myths, they tell us something about the psychological structures of the previous people, pre-modern times. I mean, they used to understand the things through their stories.
Nice. So, last question of from my side. What do you prefer, a storytelling or a format speech or formal speech to connect the audience?
I would incorporate all these two strengths. I think I we should. I mean, if we want to engage our audience, because everyone is not Aristotle or Plato, so they want something interesting in our conversation. So we should focus on the stories, parables, or anecdotes. But we should also uh, give a serious talk as well.
Okay, so the next question is, do you use humor in your speeches? If so, and how do you make sure that it links well with the audience?
Of course, I do use humor in my talks because I think that if they do not go fall flat on the audience, then I mean they they find them amusing, and if the talk gets boring, so I mean it should I mean give them a little excitement or a little laughter, ease their nerves.
Okay, and what is the piece of advice you would give to someone improving their public speaking skills?
And there is a black American writer, and she was given a Nobel Prize of Literature. So she was asked that, did you want to become a writer when you were a kid? She said that I have always wanted to become a reader. So it says a lot about reading. That if you want to give a talk, all right, if you want to make sense, if you want to be sensible to the other people, then you have to read, and you have to read a lot.
Are there any speakers who inspire you and what makes them effective? Is there any listener or public speaker that you listen to often?
When I was a kid, I used to listen Jiddu Krishna movie. It was a very good public speaker, very good philosopher as well. So he used to give talks to large audience. So when I was a kid, I used to listen to him quite often. Then I started reading him. Well, I find the text, the hard text in my hands. The book is in my hand, so I find it more comfort. I find myself more comfortable reading the book rather than listening to the talks through the media.
So, how can someone practice public speaking if they don't have opportunities to speak in front of crowds?
Uh, that is a quite hard to answer because I don't know. I mean,
Is
uh,
there any tip that you practice when you started the profession of teaching? Obviously, everyone has stage fright, and what is something that how you overcame your stage fright?
look, I mean, first of all, I mean, we feel nervous.
Yeah.
We feel nervous when we are faced with a large audience because evolutionary, when we were evolving, we were not designed by evolution to face large audience. So this is something that overwhelms us. Some nervousness overwhelms us or overtakes us when we are facing some large audience. So, and you can overcome this feeling of nervousness only when you are used to it. If you are unused to the circumstances where you are not faced with large audience, then probably you will, I mean, uh, get overwhelmed with the nervousness. So I think, I mean, if I think I mean, you should put in more energy into what you are doing and focus less about the audience. Think as if you are talking to yourself, doing things on your own. So it would be better to overcome I mean, it would help you overcome your sense of nervousness.
Okay, so the last question would be, how do you see public speaking changing in the digital era that we are in?
I think that it has two sides. So the one side is the speaker, and on the other side are the audience. So if let's suppose people who are smitten with the chat GPT and the other, I mean, technologies of distraction, you are quite often, I mean, overwhelmed with these things, then probably you will have a less attention span, and people suffer from these cerebral things. I mean, they are less focused. Say they are doing things. I mean, with less concentration, and I mean
Less
their
understanding.
mental health is suffering. Ah, of course. I mean, so can you repeat your question again? If I mean, how are we going to?
How do you see public speaking changing in the digital age that we are in?
I mean, if let's suppose, I mean, through virtual mediums, if you are speaking with other people, then of course, I mean, you do not know about the reactions of the other people. If the people on the other side, you do not know. I mean, you have to speed up your lecture. you need to add in some humor, some stories. You do not know. So there are some downsides of virtual or
Digital.
digital age. Because when you are, I mean, looking at the audience, you can see through their faces that if they are experiencing any kind of boredom, also you can, I mean, do something about it. But if you are, I mean, talking to a blank wall, you do not know, I mean, if the people you are communicating to, they are able to listen to you or with some attentiveness and lovingness. So I mean, uh, there is a kind of lacking.
So thank you, sir, for your time. And that's
I
how
am
we
humbled and appreciated. Thank you very much.
and that's how we wrap up our interview. Thank you.